What's up, guys? Welcome to Table Fellowship. Ellie here. Before we get started into some cooking, I do just want to kind of reflect and talk a little bit about what I've been reading in the Word lately. And right now I've been in Hebrews chapter 11, and it's this beautiful passage of reflecting back on Old Testament heroes of the Bible who, by faith, accomplished great things. Some suffered greatly. Some did wondrous signs and miracles, and God used them for His glory and His good, and ultimately through faith would be saved, just as you and I are. Starting in Hebrews chapter 1, or Hebrews 11 chapter 1, it says, in case you're wondering what the definition of faith is, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the convictions of things not seen. And that always gets me, because we can't see the wind, but we are convicted that it exists because we see the results of the wind. And by faith, these characters in the Bible, these heroes of Jerusalem, of Israel, of the Old Testament, and heroes of us now because of God's covenant and promises, by faith stepped out in obedience to what God had called them to, though they at the time could not see what was going to happen. They eventually would see, and at that time they had assurance in the things hoped for from God's promises. In Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 and 9 tells us that it is by grace we are saved through faith alone, in Christ alone, by faith alone. And these people here in the Old Testament that Hebrews 11 touches on, that's exactly what they had, was faith, and that's all they had. And they said that in obedience to it. And that's kind of why I'm doing this table fellowship thing, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's beautiful to reflect on how those before our time stepped out in faith, in obedience to Christ, to God, and we are now called to do the same. So just some food for thought for you. And now let's cook some food.
Quick pause, because your homegirl forgot to check the camera angle, so here's a picture of my head instead.
Okay, guys, so for today, for my, I guess you'd call it inaugural first full video, sure, we'll call it that, whatever. I wanted to make one of my favorite side dishes. I've made this for quite a few people now, and we just eat it up. It is so good. We're gonna make some duck fat, garlic rosemary infused duck fat roasted potatoes. It's a really simple dish. What you need is rosemary, which I got plenty of, garlic, duck fat. I buy rendered duck fat. All we cook with is animal fats and avocado oil here, so that's all you really see me use. So you can buy it all on Amazon. You can also buy it at most of your local grocery stores. Doesn't really matter too much. Anyways, rendered duck fat, amazing. I got me some baby golds, my faves. They're super good. Salt, pepper, baking soda. That's it. So it's a really straightforward dish. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to chop up some rosemary. Fun little trick, if you've never done it before with rosemary, you don't have to pull them all off individually. Grab it from the very top, just like this. You're going to pinch it at the top, and then you're just going to pull down, and that rosemary is going to come off, just like that. And the part that you can't quite pull off is going to break, I just twist. The other thing that's good to have is what I call a discard bowl. As you can see, it already has some discard in it from a recipe I did a little bit earlier, but the discard bowl is clutch. It makes your cleanup 10 times easier. You always want to keep your station fairly clean. So discard bowl it is. Let's get some more rosemary. Oh, there we go. Rosemary. You can buy rosemary from the store. If you also have a plant of rosemary, you can totally use that. I just always recommend washing the rosemary before you do anything else with it, because you never know what, if it's a plant that's your neighbors, what they spray on it, if they do anything like that. It's kind of one of those hit or miss things. We have a rosemary plant, or no, our neighbors do, and I know how they treat it, and so they let me use theirs whenever I need to, and I still just rinse it off because you never know what kind of creatures and bugs could be there too. This dish is so good and so easy because, one, it's going to be in the oven the majority of the time, so you can kind of chill and do other things while you're prepping. Okay, we're going to start with that rosemary. And then 2, it's gonna have so much delicious flavor that I don't even know what to tell you. Okay, we're gonna chop up the rosemary nice and fine. Oh, I forgot the other ingredient, lemon zest. I zested 2 lemons, set them aside here from something I made earlier. Lemon zest from 2 lemons. You're gonna want a good amount. This is probably about like a 2 tablespoons worth of lemon zest or so. Anyways, that'll come in handy later. Don't worry about it for now. If you don't know how to zest a lemon, or if you still do it the incorrect way, please refer back to one of my other videos on how to zest citrus. It'll change your life, let me tell you. When you're chopping herbs like this, keep your fingers out of the way. Use the claw technique when you're chopping veggies, fruits, etc., meats, whatever, right? When you're chopping herbs, my fingers are going to be nowhere near this because herbs go everywhere. So I have one hand at the end of the blade over here. The other hand, you're gripping the knife down here. I guess I should backtrack. Let's talk about how to grip a knife. Don't do this. This is not safe. It's also going to hurt your wrist eventually in time. You don't want to grip it like this, right? What you're going to do is at the heel of the knife up here, you're going to take your if you're right-handed, I'm right-handed. Left-handed, just do it with your left hand. Anyways, you're going to take your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to grip it right at the base of the heel, and your other fingers are going to wrap around. It's going to look like that, okay? You'll be able to feel the weight of the knife. You'll be able to feel if it's comfortable and stuff. If you need to adjust a little bit forward or backward, then do that, but that's how you want to grip it, is like this. Don't put your pointer finger on top. That's not safe. It's not stable. Don't do it. Don't. Grip it like this, and then I'm just doing a chopping and rocking method to get it going. I want this to be really, really fine. Because what we're going to do is we're going to slowly infuse it in with the duck fat along with the garlic, and then later, this is all going to go on top of the roasted potatoes. So, cut it up. Honestly, I think I need more, so I'm going to get a little rosemary, which is fine. Okay, there we go. That is a good amount of rosemary. Sweet, I love it. One of the things I highly, highly recommend if you don't have it, just to save the longevity of your blade on your knife, is get you one of these, I think they're called a bread cutter, whatever. I'll link it below. Anyways, get you one of these, because then instead of you using the side of your blade to pick up stuff and to clean stuff and move stuff, which will ruin your blade over time, you use one of these guys and it's so much easier and so much better for your blade. So get you one of these. It will change your life. I use it quite literally every single day. Any day I cook, I use this thing. I never use my knife now to scoop and move stuff. One, you could cut yourself, it's dangerous. And 2, like I said before, you will 100% ruin your blade quicker. I mean, if you don't know me, I'm obsessed with kitchen knives. I love good quality kitchen knives. Anyways, next we're gonna use a lot of garlic. So probably not quite a whole head, but at least like 6 or 7 cloves of garlic. If you are not a garlic fan, just skip this video. I mean, please don't skip it. Like and subscribe first, and then skip it. But it's gonna be a lot of garlic here. So to separate cloves quickly, it's not cooperating with this head of garlic, but you put it upside down, root side up. You get your palm down, and you smash it down. There we go, and then they start to separate. Just like this. A little bit more. These finicky cloves. Okay. Let's see what I got. These are good sized cloves. I like that. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. We're gonna start with 7. If we need more, we need more. We're gonna put that one by here. So get all these random peels. Don't get out of my rosemary, stupid peel. Get all these random peels that you just don't need. Get them out of the way. Right, keep your cutting board clean. Keep your cutting station tidy. I dropped did I say rose peel? That's gonna be funny to go through. Keep your garlic peels out. Keep your cutting board clean. There we go. quickest and easiest way to peel garlic if you don't want it to be very precisely sliced is to put your knife blade down on top, and you're gonna just smash the crap out of it. It's quite satisfying. Eric knows if I'm upset, let me tell you. So I'm not just realize that. The stuff out here, those peels, freaking stupid. My garlic peels, silly. See, and then your garlic comes out just like this. Separate the peels from the meat, because we're gonna chop this up. This guy's off to get off my knife. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna chop our garlic up all fine. So first I'm gonna do slices on it. What I'm doing here, it's called the rock back and forth method. Protecting my fingers, I'm giving it the claw like this. Right, my other two fingers are gonna be out of the way. My knife is gonna go down, and I'm gonna use my knuckle along the top of the blade as a guide, right? So the knife is gonna always be slightly away from my finger. The blade of the knife is gonna always be slightly away from my finger, but I'll be able to tell where it is because my knuckles are gonna be the guide at the top of the knife where the blade isn't. So I'm gonna do this rock method like that. Rock is just you rock. It's good with a curved blade. If you have a flat blade, you can't rock, you gotta chop. So we're gonna do rock chop, on my choppers. And then from there, we're gonna cut up super fine. And you could use one of those chop things, if you have that, that's totally fine. I personally like to my knife scales up to par, so I hand chop pretty much everything. But you don't have to do that. You can 100%. You have a little chopping thing if you're doing that, just make sure you want it really fine chop. Okay, so I'm not gonna do a big chop, I'm really fine, so I'm gonna keep cutting this down. What I'm doing here is I'm smashing the heel or the blade to the garlic to pull out some of its moisture and its oils more. And then we're going to cut it down some more. The other thing I'm going to do is take a little pinch of salt and put it on the garlic. That salt is going to help pull out the oils of the garlic. It's going to be more potent and flavorful. Okay, sweet. So I have nice and lovely chocolate garlic. My hands are gonna smell like this the rest of the day. Okay, so now let's cut some potatoes. So we're gonna do with these golds here. I'll take them out and put them along my cutting board because I'm just gonna put them right back in the bowl just to keep it simple. We want the potatoes to be uniform in size, right? So what that's gonna mean is some potatoes are gonna cut a little bit more than another one. Like if you can see, these two are obviously not the same size potato, right? So this one I might cut in half. This one I might do into quarters. Anyways, we want them to all be about the same size. Let me see how big this guy is here. Yeah, so actually I want them to be about this size. So this is going to kind of be my guide. We'll leave that guy here. So we're going to do this bigger one into 3 pieces. Yep, there we go. Or 6 pieces, I guess you could say. And we're going to do one half a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger, but oh, there we go. Then you do then you do leave the potato on the cutting board. Since the cutting board, then you just do it on the board once. That's what I do. But it doesn't matter what's over. I'm just gonna like having a clean space. Oh well. Like I said, you want them to be around the same size. You might have some differences, and it is what it is. Just like you and me. We're not all gonna be the same size. We have some differences. Oh, that was corny. I hated saying that. Okay. Perfect. Next step, what we're going to do is we're going to get a medium saucepan or a smaller saucepan heated up to medium low heat. This is important here because what we're going to do is we're going to add the duck fat in, and then we're going to add in our garlic and rosemary, and we are not cooking and frying the garlic and rosemary. We want it to infuse slightly slowly. So we want to do it at a lower temperature. We don't want to burn the garlic and we don't want to burn the rosemary. So we're going to get that out preheated. Other thing we're going to do is we're going to get a pot of water boiling. Water boiling. Get that sucker on. Last thing we do is we're going to get the oven. Oops, sorry, I'm going to get you guys stable here. There we go. Last thing is we're going to get the oven on. And we're going to preheat oven to 450. All right. We're moving. Let's get our duck fat in our pan. So let's see. 1 tablespoon. That's probably about 1/3 of a cup to about 1/2 cup of duck fat. We need to add more. We'll add a little bit more, but for now we're going to start with that. Okay, so we're going to let that melt down. Once it melts down, we're going to add in our garlic and rosemary, as well as a pinch of salt. All right, our duck fat is melted down. Let's get our good stuff in here. See what I mean by the scraper thing? Bed scraper, is that what it's called? I don't remember what it's called. Whatever. There we go. Do a pinch of salt. Trying to get my spatula out. There we go. Just do that. Oh, it smells so good right now. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to get the sense of the garlic. I'm starting to get the sense of the rosemary. We'll put a little bit. Add a little bit more of that. Great. Let's start doing this thing. A bit closer here, you can just start to see the simmering, the bubbles happening. Oh, it smells amazing. So what this is doing is when you do it on a lower temperature for a little bit longer of a time, instead of you getting burning and bitter flavors, because in the garlic would burn and the rosemary would burn super quick, we're letting the oils of the rosemary, the oils of the garlic, all these components that with slow heat and time will infuse into the duck fat. All right, let's go in. Check it out. Oh, it smells like heaven in here. We're gonna let this go for a little bit. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and stir it every few minutes until it's ready to be pulled. All right, so we can see now, it's bubbly, it's foamy, and the color has changed quite a bit. So now that garlic is nice and golden and borderline crispy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill the heat, and we're gonna very carefully strain this guy. So now the duck fat is infused with the garlic and the rosemary. You see all this good stuff here. We're going to scrape it out and also put it in there. We're going to use all of this later. Just got to show you this. Look at how, oh, that is just packed full of flavor. And what's going to happen is we're going to use this after we roast the potatoes and they're ready to serve. This plus a lemon zest, we're going to mix together some flaky salt, and it's going to go on top of the potatoes. And let me tell you, your world will never be the same. So while we're waiting for this water to boil, I kind of wanted to give you guys some insight and background as to why I even started this in the first place, why it finally came to happen. That's going to drive me crazy. I was at a job that I was very good at. I was an office manager at a chiropractor's office, and I've been in an administrative role for like 15 years now. And due to some circumstances, it wasn't circumstances, it was clearly God showing me that my time in that type of role was ending. I was reading through the book of Joshua at that time, and with my ladies' Bible study group, and it was talking about faith and obedience, kind of like I mentioned earlier in Hebrews as well. It was talking about faith and obedience, and I remember sitting there one morning just reading and then praying, going, God, what are you calling me to? Because it doesn't feel like I should be in the role that I'm at anymore. The oven is preheated. It doesn't feel like I should be the role that I was at anymore, but I don't know what this is, and God made it very clear to me through prayer and through wise counsel from other family and friends that it was time for me to leave my job. I left my job, or started the process of leaving my job, going, okay, God, well, this is kind of a big step. Like, what's next? Like, what am I gonna do? I love food. I know that much. I love food. You guys know that I love food. Oh, we're boiling. Okay, pause that story. What we're going to do now is we're going to very carefully, I left my salt over there. We're going to go around the camera here because I don't want to knock you guys over. We're going to very carefully salt the water like the ocean. The potatoes are going to soak in some of the salt. And then we're going to add in like maybe a teaspoon or so of baking soda. What this is going to do is it's going to help break down the outside of the potato. And so that way later we get a really crispy crust on the outside of these potatoes. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. But anyways, so we're going to add in some baking soda. Oh, yeah, that's about a teaspoon, give or take. And then because this is boiling very carefully, a lot of people are nervous and they just kind of go quick. 1, don't go quick. 2, always put it in away from you, right? So I'm standing on this side. I'm not going to come from this side and pull. That will burn. It would suck. So I'm going to very carefully and slowly pour these in, going away from me, just like that. And then we're gonna let those boil about 10 or so minutes. It should get back up to our boiling boil here soon, so I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. There we go. Anyways, back to my story. I was talking to friends and family, so I keep saying, I'm nervous if you can't tell. I was talking to some friends and family, and the one thing that kept going through my head over and over again was food, cooking, and ministry. And I was praying, I was like, God, what? Do you want me to be a private chef and then do ministry on the side? What do you want me to do with this? And I remember I went to a therapy appointment, and the therapist had no idea that this was. She knew I left my job and stuff, right? But she had no idea that prayer was going through my head of the food and ministry combo, right? And she's like, "Oh, we were talking. She's like, do you have an idea as to what you want to do when you leave your job? And I was like, I don't know. I'm praying about it. I don't know. She's like, oh, what are your passions? And I was like, oh my gosh, I love food. And then the moment I started talking about food, she was like, Ellie, your demeanor changed entirely. I've never seen somebody so excited to talk about pasta before, it's my therapist, thankfully, so is a believer. She goes, it seems like God is going to use you, and food is going to be your ministry. And I was like, what did you say? You said food is going to, and then it clicked. And immediately in that moment, God made it click, and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, cool. So I went home, talked with Eric about it, and he was like, yeah, that sounds about clear as day. And we just continued to pray about it, and God put on my heart this idea of table fellowship. And so what this is going to be, just to give you viewers an idea from videos going out here on forward, videos like this, that are the long recipe videos where I'm going to walk you through stuff and you're going to see me cutting, you're going to see me doing this, these longer videos, I'm always going to start with some time in the Word. I will probably pray at some point in this video as well, and we will walk through recipes together. So that's what these long videos will look like. And then I'll also do shorter YouTube and Instagram videos that are shorter recipes, that are just recipes, and kind of quick and to the point, right? And on those ones, you would be able to get through them in 3 or so minutes is the goal. But then the other main goal of this table fellowship is not just posting videos and sharing recipes and sharing what I love with others who have been curious about it and teaching new skills and such, right? That's a very small portion of it. The much more important and the much larger portion is the fellowship side of it. And we are called to meet together, eat together, pray together, lift each other up. We are called to bear each other's burdens. We are called to be there for each other. My theme verse for table fellowship in the Bible comes from Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. I would highly recommend reading it. But it's talking about the early church of believers and disciples meeting together regularly, giving away all that they had so that way they could take care of each other, eating together, and being in fellowship. And so my goal is to share this food with others, both via video, but then I'm also going to make this food and take it to people. And I encourage you all to do the same, right? I encourage you to share in that fellowship, share your food, and have conversations. You never know what great things can happen through those conversations that happen when you're sharing food. It's amazing, and that's what I love, and that's what my passion is. And so I also plan on reaching out to my local church to see if families in need who need meals, and I will be cooking for them whenever I get the call. I will make a meal for somebody, right? And I encourage you all to do the same as well. But that's where this idea of table fellowship came from, is this food ministry where I both via internet, I combined great and crazy right there. The crazy thing about internet is that I can share with you my passion and love for food, and you cannot live anywhere near me. But then I can also share my passion and love for food for those around me in my community and families in need. Because that is what I feel so strongly that God has called me to. And with that, having conversations and spreading the gospel. So that's the idea of table fellowship. This is boiling. This has got about 5 minutes left, and we're going to touch base once we get to the next step. Okay, timer it off. Potatoes are done. We're going to very carefully strain them. Oh, get out. Got it. You're going to also ignore my dirty sink full of dishes. If there's one thing that I can promise you, aside from yummy food, is that I will never care about if you guys see a sink full of dirty dishes in the video. So I hope you don't care either. So if you do care, probably should find a different channel. Just throwing that out there. I'm human, and you're going to see that I'm human, as you probably already have with all my verbal mix-ups and stuff, like flagrant and crap. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to let these strain fully. We'll do a shake. We just want as much moisture out of them as possible when they're baking or roasting. We don't want them to steam, So I'm going to let these sit probably about 5 or so minutes, and then we'll come back to them. 5 minutes. What I'm gonna do is transfer them back into that same bowl. Before I dirty another bowl. Come on, right? Beautiful. And what I'm gonna do is you can kind of already see it starting to form. See how like there's just that layer of potato mush? I want to shake these and stir them kind of hard because I want to create more of that layer, right? So we're just gonna get them moving. That cornstarch is what's making that potato mush layer form. Not cornstarch, I don't know why I said that. Baking soda! There we go. So you see what I mean? I'm kind of roughing them up here. Get my stir stick. We're just gonna rough up the edges. Potato mush edge is the key to really crispy roast potatoes. Oops. No, potatoes down. Leave that potato behind. All we're gonna do is here's that duck fat. I'm gonna pour it in there. Not quite all of it because I need to see if I'm gonna use it all. Other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get some fresh ground black pepper. That's gonna go in there. Amazon, amazing, and salt. We're gonna do a big pinch of salt, not too much. We've already salted as we go. That's one of the things you want to get in the habit of. If you don't already do it, is salt and season as you go. That way it builds flavor. You don't just smash flavor at the end of it, right? So now we're gonna stir this up nice. Now we're gonna lay these out on the parchment paper, on the baking sheet of parchment paper. The reason I'm doing such a large baking sheet is because I want there to be space in between the potatoes. That way they don't steam, right? And so if you need to do this on two smaller baking sheets and just put them on both racks in your oven, then I would recommend that because you don't want the potatoes to be on top of each other. You want there to be space. The potatoes need room to breathe, man. Give them some room. Okay. Space, space. Don't touch. No purple. We're at camp. Oh, hope you guys get that reference. I really do. Awesome. Alright, that's exactly what I want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to throw them in the oven that's preheated to 450 for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we're going to take them out.
Give it a good stir and then put it back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes or until they are crispy.
Bye-bye, potatoes. So here you have it. Duck fat roasted potatoes infused with garlic and rosemary. Pick one of these guys up here so you can hear this. It's crispy on the outside. It's fluffy on the inside. See that? You can taste the duck fat all the way through the potato. You taste the rosemary, you taste the garlic. That lemon zest just gives it a nice freshness to it. And the flaky salt's always a go-to favorite. Thanks for joining me today on Table Fellowship. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm actually going to go to my ladies' Bible study tonight and share this with them so they can experience it too. I hope you guys share this with somebody else. Till next time, as always, have a good one. Oh, you gotta gather. No.
Hello, TV land. I messed up first take.
I'm putting that in there.